Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you are doing well. We are back. It is after round zero. We are 24 hours away from the start of the 2025 AFL season. And today we have my team review ahead of round one. First of all, before we get into it, thank you so much to everybody that has liked, commented, and subscribed on the last few videos from last week. The numbers have been absolutely fantastic and really appreciate all the support. So if you haven't already and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe because we're going to have plenty of AFL content going into the new season. So on screen, you can see my current defense and it looks very different from the defense we had in our pre-round zero team because I've had a bit of a change of heart when it comes to the structure of my side. We had Jerry, we had Sheezel, I had Dawson, I had Brayshaw, I paid up, but that also meant that I had lots of rookies on the field. And what I came to find was I really didn't like my structure with a lot of the rookies on field because I just don't trust the job security of a lot of those guys. So what I've done is we've tried to play a little bit of mid-price madness in order to get as many rookies off the ground as possible. So you'll only notice that I've only got 2 recognised rookies on the ground in this team. But to start off with, in this side, I've got Tom Stewart in at D1. Again, this has been Max Holmes for a while. You can see, I can't really show you, but he goes Fremantle and St Kilda in the first few, and I just gave away half my team, so maybe I won't click into too many players. But what I've got here is Tom Stewart. I think has an absolutely brilliant run to start the season off with. I expect Geelong to want to try and control the ball a little bit more. They do have a few new players in their midfield with Nevitt and Smith who will provide a little bit more run and carry, and obviously with the Max Holmes. But I think at half-back, Tom Stewart's the guy. And once Geelong start moving the ball around, it's going to all be through Tom Stewart. I don't think I really need to talk through Jaden Short because he is just in everybody's team. I think you just need to start him and we get a good look at him tomorrow night. Same with Matty Roberts. Matty Roberts we got a good look at during opening round, scored 104, although started really slow. Was getting on the end of a lot of those kick-ins from Nick Blakey. So I expect to see Matt Roberts scoring very well. Perryman did exactly what we thought. Probably didn't tackle as much against GWS. But had the disposals and is locked and loaded in the midfield. Freya, we've spoken about last time, but Sam Taylor is the last pick in my defence. This was Lockie Ash up until about lunchtime today, and I'll explain what this sort of means for the rest of the structure moving forward. But with Sam Taylor, I'm not expecting this to be a long-term pick. Realistically, I'm expecting him to be in my team for just round one, and then hopefully we get a good look at, say, a Dan Rioli, or we get a good look at Jackson Pryor or a Sam DeConning, and it gives me flexibility to pivot either way. So if Sam Taylor goes and scores a 59, he's going to go up 100k to 628k. So what that means is I'm 200-ish away from a Dan Rioli in a couple of weeks' time. If I want to go down that path, there's options there for us to go. We get to look at the Port Adelaide boys. We'll see them against Collingwood and then getting ready for Richmond as well. So if a Miles Bergman looks like he's locked, or a Farrell or a Logan Evans, I can pivot into one of them with no bye and with a good fixture run to start the season. So there's just lots of opportunities there with Sam Taylor. And do I expect him to score 80 or 90 against Melbourne? Probably not. Do I expect him to get 55 to 60? Probably. Melbourne don't have a very tall forward line other than Jacob Van Rooyen. I expect there to be intercept marks, and I expect him to at least chip it around a bit if GWS get on top in this game like I expect them to. He could easily get into the 65-70 territory, which means he starts pushing probably 115, 120k of movement in combination with the 118 that he scored against Collingwood. So very happy with Sam Taylor. On the bench, I've gone with Trainer and Zach Reed as well, but let's move into the top line of my midfield, and at M1 is Andrew Brayshaw. So in a perfect world, I would love this to be Jordan Dawson. I think he's probably the number one midfielder in this 1-0 bracket, but I just can't squeeze the extra 100k into Jordan Dawson from Andrew Brayshaw. So if you see where I can make an extra 100k, I mean, I could make the 100k from going Finn Callaghan from Will Ashcroft down to Callaghan, and I can probably make that money work. But I really back in Will Ashcroft with a fantastic run of fixtures after Sydney in round one, who we saw Will Day pop off with a 130-odd score. So Andy Brayshaw goes in at M1, again, locked and loaded in the midfield. Probably don't have as many question marks on his role compared to a Jordan Dawson, where at least with Brayshaw, we know he's a top two midfielder for Fremantle. And I won't have those concerns long-term with him. So lock in Andrew Brayshaw at M1, lock in Connor Rozee at M2. Great role, great run. Just set and forget. Don't worry about it with Connor Rozee. Port haven't come out and said anything about his toe. Ashcroft, probably the M3 at Brisbane. Could be M2 with some of the talk with Neil. And then probably looking to look after him a little bit during the home and away season and keep him in cotton ball for finals. So Will Ashcroft priced at 84. I just think he could be 100 averaging midfielder. I think there's a lot of value there. Inner Will Ashcroft and no buy is fantastic. And Clary, I don't think we need to talk about Clary too much. The bottom line of our midfield. So this is where that money's being spent. When you've got Will Day sitting in as an M5, I think, we've done really, really well in keeping the value in this side. Looked fantastic against Sydney. Yes, he had a pretty much 100-point first half and then a 30-point second half after the tag, but he's just a quality footballer. He's not going to kick 3 goals every week, but he will get amongst it as the season goes on. He's had his little injury issues in the past, so I think with Hawthorn managing his minutes, he'll be fine. Adam Chera, I expect him and Hollands both to go big tomorrow night against Richmond and get their cash gen off to a flyer. And what we just said about one Ashcroft, you can just say for the other Ashcroft, okay, he's not going to be in the midfield rotation as much as Will, but playing for a fantastic Brisbane Lions side with a great opening sort of 6 or 7 games, I think he's the best of the midfield bunch with a Finn Sullivan and a Boxall sitting there and Camporeale in our utilities. The ruck line, again, Sheezel and Cherry gone for Gawn. And De Koning, I don't think we need to talk too much about this pick. Max Gawn is easily the best captain option this week against a Briggsless GWS. I think he has territory for 130 to 150 levels of scoring in this game. He's going to absolutely dominate either Keith or the Madden, who's the other ruckman there for GWS. And De Koning, okay, Nank is a good ruckman, but typically fantasy friendly. So I expect Tom De Koning to be a beast for the first sort of month until Pitnet's back. And then hopefully by then Briggs is back and bottom down. We can look to go to a Kieran Briggs. Forward line, I've gone a little bit on the cheaper, safer side here. We're going with Jack Macrae, F1. This is where I've probably saved money between my defence and my forward line, but I think there's some value that we can attack. So Macrae goes in at F1 and probably could be the F1 overall this season. Sanders and Smith, again, pick themselves, as does probably the rest of my forward line. He's very, very template. I think other than having a Rankin or a Horne-Francis, everyone's going to have a combination of these sort of 8 forwards. So nothing too crazy. I've gone with Stone, and I think it's Max Hall because I just can't squeeze a Berry or a Kako in. And then in the utility, we've got Lucas Camporeale. So that is my side. Just to quickly run through it, it's Stewart, Short, Roberts, Perryman, Freya, Taylor, Brayshaw, Rozee, the double Ashcroft, Oliver Day, Chera, Hollands, Gawn, De Koning, Macrae, Sanders, Smith, Daniel, Garcia, and Davidson. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I think I've really attacked the value, and I'm hoping you can kind of see that. I've attacked the value. I think between Gawn, Brayshaw, and Rozee over the first sort of 6 weeks, they're really good captain and VC options over the first 6 weeks of the season. And it's going to give us a real big springboard. Early trade plans for round 2 would be a Sam Taylor, definitely going up or down depending on what we see. So my eyes are heavily peeled on those Port Adelaide halfbacks. It's peeled up onto a Jackson Pryor, a Sam De Koning, and probably a Dan Rioli. So I've got scope to go either way with that pick. And then obviously if it means that a Layla looks fantastic, you go a Sam Taylor down and you go a Boxall up, and you'll be able to at least get onto that cash gen before it gets too late. So that's my early thoughts with the side. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for another AFL Fantasy video on the channel.